Welcome to part 2 of a Delta flight from JFK to Phoenix. Make sure you check out part 1 first, where I'm in a 767 Premium Select seat that's not really Premium Select. We took off on the super long runway 31 left after getting clearance from Kennedy Tower and flew to our initial fix of Robbinsville over New Jersey. In today's video, I pick up where I left off as we continue this flight across the United States of America. As we descend to Phoenix, I'll provide ATC once again for our beautiful approach to runway 8, which means we'll have to make left traffic to the runway, so this seat on the left side of the plane will really pay off for the approach. Let's do this. We're now over Pennsylvania at our cruising altitude. With the cloud cover, I briefly realized I was in a Premium Select seat, so I took a look at the sophisticated seat controls that apparently make the seat more comfortable. Did I touch them? No. This is a day flight, and I'm keeping my seat upright to remain attentive to the view outside. Another reason not to recline the seat is for respect for the passenger behind me. The drink service started over Pennsylvania, but I am not letting the in-flight service distract me from this. This is a view of a Jazz Embraer 175 flying from Charlotte to Toronto. We're making progress as we fly the post-Robbinsville en route phase of flight today. The east was heavily covered in clouds, which made looking down very bright and not too exciting, but there's a world of air traffic up here, like this American 737 flying from Chicago O'Hare to Charlotte.
So far, it's a great flight on this 767. I'm loving every moment of it.
But I'm not wasting time in the lab because the clouds are starting to dissipate. Here, we can see the Mississippi River. From the map on the bulkhead wall ahead of me, you can see that we're just north of St. Louis. Down there, we're looking at Troy, Missouri. Incorporated in 1819, it's known for its historical district with late Victorian-style architecture.
Finally, there's a break in the clouds.
I love seeing airports that I'm unfamiliar with across the country, and I was able to identify this airport as the Columbia Regional Airport, serving Columbia, Missouri, and the state capital of Jefferson City. Its longest runway is 7,400 feet long. American, Allegiant, and United offer service from there. 30 miles south of the Missouri River is Sedalia, Missouri, the location of the Scott Joplin International Ragtime Festival. From the map, we can see that we're near Kansas City, so our flight deck crew is talking to the Kansas City Air Route Traffic Control Center in Olathe, Kansas, as we remain at cruising altitude. This opposite direction plane is also talking to Kansas City Center. It's a FedEx 767 flying from LAX to Indianapolis. After this area of clouds, I was able to see the James Jabara Airport, a general aviation reliever airport for Wichita, and I was able to see part of the city of Wichita there. Way in the distance is the Wichita Dwight D. Eisenhower National Airport. Catching my eye in the sky is a Delta 757 from Denver to Atlanta, and down there is Pretty Prairie, Kansas. Named for its scenic setting, it's home to 660 people. Flying cross-country allows you to learn about towns that I will likely never visit, like Kingman, Kansas, which is named for Samuel Austin Kingman, a justice of the Kansas Supreme Court in the 1860s. I may never get to visit Cunningham, Kansas, so it's great to see the small city of 444 inhabitants from up here. Back up in the sky in the distance is a Boeing business jet flying from Anchorage to Houston Hobby Airport. We've got 1 hour and 48 minutes left. Time is just flying by. Down there is High Plains Ponderosa Dairy, the winner of the 2025 Kansas Distinguished Dairy Award. It's not too far from the small city of Kismet, Kansas. At just 0.24 square miles, it's home to 340 people. Of larger size is Liberal, Kansas. How'd Liberal get that name? Settler Seymour Rogers would give out free water to travels, and people would say, "That's very liberal of you." Liberal is home to the Mid-America Air Museum at the Liberal Airport, which you can see here. We're now over the Oklahoma Panhandle, and that's Boise City in Oklahoma. It's in Cimarron County, which is the only county in the United States that touches 5 states. We're now in New Mexico. That's Clayton, home to just under 3,000. It's also home to one of the USA's oldest movie theaters that's still operational today. The scenery is changing down there, and it's making me think about the desert and our approach.
For today's approach, it looks like we're making left-hand traffic to the runway, so I'm happy I'm on the left side.
We're about to start the Eagle 6 arrival procedure, which is designed for aircraft that are approaching the Phoenix area from the northeast like us. The plan is to follow the procedure all the way to the last fix, O-base, and then expect radar vectors via a left-hand turn to the final approach course. We'll descend along the way. But first, we're going to take in the remaining sites in the state of New Mexico. That's the unincorporated community of Mora. It sits at an altitude of 7,180 feet in the valley of the Mora River. What a gorgeous view of the mountains with snow on them. We'll be over the mountainous terrain for much of the descent before we enter the Phoenix Valley area. The mountains provide for some dramatic scenery, and it's better than anything offered on the in-flight entertainment system. Next up, Santa Fe. Santa Fe is the capital of New Mexico, and over 87,000 people call the city home, with a lot more in the metropolitan area. It was founded in 1610. Santa Fe is Spanish for Holy Faith and is a shortened form of its original name. As we entered the state of Arizona, the pilot came on the PA system and made the landing announcement.
Folks from the flight deck, we're about to begin our initial descent into the Phoenix airport. Feeling around less than 30 minutes. We've got good weather out of Phoenix, winds out of east at 6 miles an hour, 10 miles visibility. New clouds at 19,000 feet, temperature of 63 degrees. We'll be printing at 8 at 11 Foxtrot 11. Would like to thank you for flying Delta. You might pass space for the top for a row.
We're starting out down now.
The first town I spotted in Arizona was Snowflake. How'd it get that name? Mormon pioneers Erastus Snow and William Jordan Flake were the founders back in 1878. Here you can see that we're approaching from the northeast. As we get closer to the Phoenix area on the Eagle 6 arrival, we see Theodore Roosevelt Lake. This is a reservoir formed by the Theodore Roosevelt Dam on the Salt River. Several communities are located just north of the lake around the Tonto National Forest. Inside the 767, preparations are being made for landing.
All right, we're almost there. We're going to land on runway 8 today. It's going to be a great approach.
Once past the mountains, we can start to see the city sprawl from the metropolitan Phoenix area. This rapidly growing region has around 500 million inhabitants. We're on a 226-degree heading in the Scottsdale area and are approaching a fix called Queenie near the Scottsdale Airport. We need to cross Queenie at 10,000 feet and at a speed of 210 knots. Once past Queenie, the next fix we'll fly to is Heine, which we should cross at 7,000 feet at a speed of 210 knots. In a moment, we're going to check in with the Phoenix approach controller after having spoken with the center previously. We'll check in at 9,600 feet, which means that we just passed Queenie. Our pilot will mention that we're descending via the Eagle arrival, and we've been assigned a speed of 190 knots. Let's check in with Phoenix approach control.
Retro Delta 791 Heavy, 9.6, descending via the Eagle, speed 190. Delta 971 Heavy, Phoenix approach, roger.
The controller responded with just Roger, which means we continue to Heine on our current heading of 226 degrees, which is the same heading we were on before Queenie. Heine is located by the intersection of West Bethany Home Road and North Central Avenue in Phoenix. We're over Scottsdale now. Once we get to Heine, despite being under the control of a controller, we'll turn to the right to 258 degrees and will await further instructions from ATC. As we look at Camelback Mountain down there, I want you to listen into the following transmission with the plane in front of us. It's Delta 1070 Heavy, an A330 from Detroit to Phoenix.
Delta 1070 Heavy, reduce speed to 1900, then descend to maintain 6000.
Okay, we're at 190, descend to 6,000, Delta 1070 Heavy.
We will land directly behind this plane, and since we'll be making a left-hand turn to land, chances are very high that we'll see this plane from this side of the aircraft. For me, one of the most exciting things about flying is being able to see other airplanes, especially when they have a relationship to your aircraft. I'll let you hear everything on this frequency as the approach controller talks to everyone. Here are a few transmissions to some other flights that are ahead of us and the other Delta plane.
Skywest 3772, turn 15 degrees left, descend to maintain 4000.
15 degrees left down to 4,000, Skywest 3772.
Skywest 6509, contact tower, 118.7.
Over tower, Skywest 6509.
We can start to pick up the airport off of our left, and I'll zoom in a moment. We'll be landing on the northern runway. That's the runway that's closest to us. Even though we can see the airport, it'll take around 9 more minutes until we can land. This is because we need to be well aligned with the runway, and there are planes that are ahead of us that need to land before us. In the next cluster of communications, the controller will talk to a SkyWest flight and have it descend lower and clear it to 3,000 feet and clear it for a visual approach. Delta 1070 Heavy will also get cleared down to 4,000 feet. What Delta 1070 is doing, we will do soon.
Skywest 3772, send to maintain 3000, Fort Skyburn site, 10 o'clock, 11 miles.
Send to maintain 3,000, filled in sight, Skywest 3772.
Skywest 3772, flighting 110, close approach runway 8.
Heading 110, click visual runway 8, Skywest 3772.
Delta 1070 Heavy, descend maintain 4000.
Send 4,000, Delta 1070 Heavy.
Since what we're doing is very similar to what Delta 1070 is doing, we too will get cleared down to 4,000 feet in just a moment. The controller will have Delta 1070 turn left to the south, which is the left base leg to the runway.
Delta 1070 Heavy, turn left heading 170.
Left turn, 170, Delta 1070 Heavy.
We reach Heine and turn right from 226 to 258 degrees for the left downwind.
Delta 971 Heavy, descend maintain 4000. So maintain 4,000, Delta 791 Heavy.
We're in our turn to 258 degrees, and since we've progressed, we're cleared down to 4,000 feet. The controller keeps getting our flight number wrong, but our pilot responds because she knows what she means. You might not have even noticed it if you weren't paying close attention. We're heading toward the west and are given some amazing views of the western areas of Phoenix. In a moment, the controller is going to have Delta 1070 turn left to 110 degrees, report the field in sight, and it'll get cleared for the visual approach to runway 8. As those transmissions occur, I'm going to zoom in on the SkyWest flight in front of him, which is joining the final approach course.
Delta 1070 Heavy, reports governed site 10 o'clock, 12 miles.
Inside Delta 1070 Heavy.
Delta 1070 Heavy, turn left heading 110, close approach runway 8.
Left turn heading 110, cleared to visual 8 Delta.
We'll be where that plane is soon. For now, another plane behind us is going to check in. And now that SkyWest plane is getting the handoff to the tower.
Approach bearing 1529,000, sending via the Eagle 6, Quebec expecting 8.
1520 Phoenix approach, roger. Skywest 3772, contact tower 418.7.
Over to tower, Skywest 3772.
I'm keeping a sharp eye out for the Delta Heavy jet in front of us. There it is. I'll zoom in. As we look at it, the approach controller issues a speed restriction of 170 knots until 5 miles out.
Delta 1070 Heavy, maintain 170 knots until 5 mile final.
170 to 5 final Delta 1070 Heavy.
What a view of this A330. We need to be properly spaced behind this plane as we're a wide body following another wide body of similar size. If it were a smaller plane in front of us, we could have turned closer in behind the aircraft, but wake turbulence guidelines require longer distances of separation. It's all specified in the air traffic control rules and regulations books. The controller sees that there's sufficient space between us and that plane, so she issues a turn to us to the left.
Delta 791 Heavy, turn left heading 180.
Left heading 180, Delta 791 Heavy.
This is our left base leg. It's in the vicinity of the final fix of the Eagle arrival procedure, O-base. From now on, we'll rely solely on commands from the approach controller to get to the final approach course. Right now we're flying over Glendale, and the diagonal that you see down there is the Grand Canal. It feeds municipal water systems here in the Phoenix Valley area. When we complete the turn, we'll be headed due south. This is basically what the A330 in front of us was doing just a moment ago. We're going to nearly replicate that flight's flight path to the runway today. It's like clockwork for the controllers here in Phoenix. The city grid pattern follows a north, south, east, west layout, so once the roads are parallel to us, we'll be headed south. But as we level off on the turn, the controller is going to turn us further to 110 degrees. She'll hand off the previous Delta flight to the tower, have the plane behind us descend lower, and clear us for the visual approach after reporting the field in sight.
Delta 971 Heavy, turn left heading 110.
Left heading 110, Delta 791 Heavy.
Delta 1070 Heavy, main contact tower 118.7.
Tower 187 Delta 1070 Heavy.
During 1520, this is maintain 4,000.
Sending 4,000, range 1520.
Delta 971 Heavy, reports cover in sight 11 o'clock, 13 miles.
Delta 791 Heavy, airport's in sight.
I'm sorry, Delta 791, clear approach runway 8.
Clear visual approach runway 8, figured you meant us, Delta 791 Heavy.
Well, there was finally some acknowledgement about the wrong flight number there. We're cleared for the visual approach to runway 8. Runway 8 is one of the 3 parallel runways at the airport. Runway 8 is on the north side of the terminal complex, and there are 2 more runways on the south side labeled 7 right and 7 left. The parallel runways allow for simultaneous operations on more than one runway, and departures can take off and occupy airspace away from arrivals. The airport elevation is around 1,000 feet. Remember that the last altitude we were assigned to was 4,000 feet, which is 3,000 feet above the surface level. We'll continue our descent all the way down to the runway. The major highway that we see down there is Interstate 10, which runs from Santa Monica, California to Jacksonville, Florida, making it the 4th largest interstate in the country. It cuts across central Phoenix, and we'll be paralleling it all the way down to the runway. In a moment, the approach controller is going to hand us off to the runway controller located at the airport itself since we're entering airspace governed by the tower. The handoff will go to the controller responsible for the northern runway. The southern runways are handled by another person in the tower.
Delta 791 Heavy, means contact tower 118.7.
Over to tower, have a good one, Delta 791 Heavy.
Okay, it's time to check in with the control tower with the goal of getting clearance to land. Let's check in.
Phoenix Tower low, Delta 791 Heavy on the visual runway 8.
Delta 791 Heavy, Phoenix Tower number 2, caution for turbulence following company Heavy Airbus 330. Short final wind 090 at 7 runway 8. Clear to land.
Runway 8, clear to land, number 2, Delta 791 Heavy.
We're clear to land on runway 8. The tower gave us a wake turbulence warning about the company A330 that's ahead of us in short final. Heavy jets can produce a wake that can cause turbulence behind them, and we're following one, but there's plenty of space between us and the A330. I didn't feel a single bump on the way down to the runway. The wind is 090 at 7, and our heading is 080, runway heading, so the wind is a great headwind, and it's only offset by 10 degrees. Aircraft always land and depart into the wind. We're passing over South 31st Avenue as we view the West Phoenix area. The park that you see just south of the interstate is a cemetery. In a moment, we'll cross over I-17, which runs from Phoenix to Flagstaff. In this area, it's mostly known as the Black Canyon Freeway. Its southernmost part is actually part of the Maricopa Freeway. By this point, the Delta A330 ahead of us has landed and is slowing down on the runway. The controller is observing it visually to see which taxiway it can turn right onto to vacate the runway so we can land. Today, Bravo 9 will be the ideal runway, so the controller will have Delta 1070 turn onto Bravo 9, and we'll provide a few more instructions after that.
Delta 1070 Heavy, turn right, Bravo 9 taxi, Sierra South route. Have a good day.
Bravo 9 Sierra South route, Delta 1070, have a good day.
The runway is ours, and my seat on the left-hand side of the plane affords a great view of the downtown area of Phoenix. Here we have a close-up view of the Central Business District. It's the regional headquarters for several major banks and a center for entertainment and sports. We're roughly flying over East Grant Street, which is well aligned with our runway. Don't forget to watch my video where my flight lands at the San Diego airport. This approach is similar in that it gets very close to the tall buildings of the city center. We're almost there. Now, as we touch down, a few things are going to happen. The tower controller is not just responsible for the runways, but airspace in the vicinity of the airport as well. This is busy Class Bravo airspace. On this frequency, the controller was working an aircraft that is currently about to leave the controller's airspace, so the pilot will check out to the north-northwest. Now, if you watch my channel a lot, you know that I fly into and out of LaGuardia very often, but we never hear small aircraft or helicopters on the tower frequency. The airspace is so busy in New York that a separate controller handles that. After that transmission, the plane behind us is going to check in. That plane will get cleared to land, and since we're a heavy jet, a wake turbulence advisory will be provided. During the landing roll, we'll pass by the Honeywell hangar, and I'll zoom into a very interesting aircraft parked on the ramp. It's Honeywell's 757 test aircraft, and it's been around since the early 80s. It's time for us to touch down on runway 8.
Charlie departing the Bravo to the north-northwest. Have a great day. Thanks for getting us in.
No, November 7, Lima Charlie, Roger, thank you. Leaving Phoenix Bravo airspace. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Phoenix Tower, Spirit Wings 1520, visual runway 8.
Spirit 1520 Phoenix, tower number 2, caution turbulence, previous arrival, heavy 767, caution turbulence, wind 090 at 8, runway 8, clear to land.
Number 8, clear to land, Spirit Wings 1520.
The runway that we're on is 11,489 feet long and 150 feet wide. Its surface is made of concrete. It's a long runway, but shorter than the runway that we use for takeoff at JFK. It's the longest of the 3 runways here at Phoenix Sky Harbor. As we slow down and vacate the runway, it seems that the tower did not provide instructions on where to go, so our pilot comes on the radio asking, "Where do you want us?" The tower will provide the instructions on what to do.
Delta 791, where do you want us?
Delta 791 Heavy, you can continue right turn on Sierra South route. Join Sierra behind. The regional jet's going to hold for you. So Sierra South route, have a good day.
Sierra South route, have a good one. Delta 791 Heavy.
We are told to continue with the right turn on Sierra, and we can take a south route since our gate is on the south side of the terminal complex, and that a regional jet will hold for us. Here you can see that regional jet that's holding for us, and we continue along to the south. I missed our pilot's call, but here's the ground controller telling us what to do.
Delta 91 Heavy, Phoenix ground taxi, Echo Delta 7 to the ramp.
Echo Delta 7 to the ramp, Delta 791 Heavy.
We're told to take Echo and Delta 7 to the ramp. The taxiway that we're on now is a link between the north side of the airport and the south side of the airport. To get there, we use this taxiway as a transition way. We will need to cross over airport roads below. I'm excited to be on a plane bridge with the cars below us. JFK has some of these too, but we didn't need to utilize them when we left JFK earlier this morning. We're now turning onto taxiway Echo. Echo parallels the south set of runways, runway 7 left and 7 right, so of course I'm interested in seeing the south side operation, which is different from the north side operation. Here comes a Southwest 737 that just took off. This plane was controlled by a different controller who cleared us to land. In a way, it's almost like we're at a separate airport. Sitting on this side of the plane provides a view of the hangar and aircraft of the Air National Guard. After spending so much time at airports that basically only have airline and GA service, it's a real treat to see defense aircraft at the same airport that airliners are flying in and out of. It's time for the turn onto taxiway Delta 7. This will lead to the western part of the terminal area, which is where the Delta gates are located. As we made the turn toward the ramp, I was treated with a very special aircraft view. It's a Boeing 777 painted in Arizona Cardinals football colors. What a plane for a sports team. Okay, it's time to pull into the gate. We're going to be at the very end of the concourse. Our arrival gate is Foxtrot 11, and we're ahead of schedule. Really ahead of schedule, like 45 minutes early. Just like at JFK, wing walkers are standing by on both sides of the plane to ensure that we don't hit anything. We sure don't want our wingtip to clip that beautiful 757 parked at gate Foxtrot 12. Oh, and on the other side of our plane is gate Foxtrot 10, and the A330 from Detroit that we were following is parked there. I definitely want to check out that plane once I get into the terminal.
All right, we've arrived here at the gate in Phoenix. What a great approach to runway 8 today.
As I deplaned, I walked through the Delta 1 cabin. Window seats here are staggered so that every other seat is physically positioned closer to the aisle. You know I'd never take one of the seats that's further away. My seat in Premium Select was so much better.
All right, about to enter the terminal. This aircraft is just going to go right back to JFK. All right, that's the 767 I just got off of, and right over there is the A330 that I saw turning to the final approach course. It's great. We parked right next to it. Ooh, it is crowded in this terminal today here in Phoenix. All right, everybody, well, I'll end this video here in this art exhibit here at the Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport. Thank you so much for joining me on my flight today from JFK to PHX. Remember that if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I invite you to click on the subscribe button below, click the bell button, hit the like button, and I'll be back with another video like this. Thanks, everybody, and see you all soon.